Hello, my name is Brandon Enright, and today I'm going to demonstrate how to solve Eitan's Radiocube 3, which is an icosahedral, a face-turning icosahedron, but it's been transformed into the shape of a cube. I ordered this puzzle more than a year ago, and it came with a bunch of parts, obviously, and Eitan messed up the STL and included a few too many of some of the parts. I don't remember which ones. And Shapeways messed up and left out some parts which I now have the replacements for. So I am going to combine the replacement parts with the originals. And I'm going to show from start to finish everything you need to do to get a package from Shapeways, count, sort, figure out what each one of the pieces are, and then figure out how to assemble the puzzle, and I'll try to show all of the assembly too. I have no idea how long this video is going to take. It's probably going to be more than an hour. I will start and stop the camera as necessary for breaks and that sort of thing. But for the most part, it's going to be a long and boring video that's going to cover every aspect of handling a puzzle from Shapeways. I've never assembled this puzzle before. I have no idea how to assemble it. So a lot of this video is going to be about figuring out how to assemble a puzzle, and hopefully it will be a little bit generic so that it'll apply to more than just Eitan's Radiocube 3. Unfortunately, well, fortunately and unfortunately I suppose, the Radiocube 3 is a shape transformation, which means it's not just a simple icosahedron, so figuring out how to assemble it's going to be a little bit more tricky than a typical Shapeways puzzle. But I'll give it a try anyways. Alright, so I'm going to organize the pieces into groups. This piece, so we're dealing with an icosahedron here. Let me go grab an icosahedron model. That is an icosahedron, and it's the same symmetry group as a dodecahedron. It has 12 vertices like these. These are 5-fold vertices. And it has 30 edges, the 2-fold edge parts, and it has 3-fold centers, and it has 20 of those. So 30 edges, 12 5-fold corners, and 20 3-fold centers. And by the way, it has 60 total orientations. So 60 is the magic number we're going to be using to figure out what these parts are. This piece has 3-fold rotational symmetry. So that means it has the rotational symmetry about the face of an icosahedron. All parts are going to multiply out to the number 60, or if you count mirror symmetry, then 120. So because this one has 3-fold symmetry, there need to be 20 of them, because 20 times 3 is 60. So there need to be 20 of these pieces. So I am going to separate them out. I'm not counting them yet. I'm just going to categorize into groups first. Okay, the other thing I'm going to categorize is these are some sort of corner thing. And they also have 3-fold symmetry, so they also need to be symmetrical around an icosahedron face. Now notice they don't have a screw hole in them, and these do. So these pieces probably sit on top of each other like this. I'm going to separate these out too. Sorry, my field of view on my camera here is really limited for an up-close focus, so you're not going to be able to see all the parts in the frame. Alright, other parts I'm going to separate out are these. These have, the mechanism portion of them has 5-fold symmetry. So that means that they're symmetrical about an icosahedron tip. So there should be, because it has 5 orientations, there need to be 12 of these, because 12 times 5 is 60. So I'm going to separate those out here, over here. Alrighty, I'm going to separate out these pieces too. These pieces have 180-degree rotational symmetry, so two-fold symmetry. So that means that they correspond to edges in an icosahedron. And because this has two orientations, there need to be 30 of these because 2 times 30 is 60. So separate those out into pile over here. I should mention that the reason I'm looking at the mechanism portion of these pieces and not the outer portion is that because this is a shape mod, there are lots of pieces with identical mechanisms, so they're the same piece. Here's 2, but have different external shapes. So I look at the mechanism instead to determine what their symmetry is and determine what groups that they should go into. Okay, that's probably most of them. Alrighty, so I'm going to count some of these pieces off to make sure I have enough of them, and I'm going to toss them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we have 20 of these, so I'm going to get them out of the way. Okay, there should be 12 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the one that fell. Okay, 12 of those, perfect. Okay, let me count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Okay, we're missing 2, but there's probably 2 sitting over here in this pile still. Okay, there's 29. And there's 30. Okay, 30 of those. Put those off there. Alright, so now let me organize the oh, this is an interesting one. This one has threefold symmetry. I think it actually matches up with these. Okay, this piece, I don't know how well you can see it. It has It doesn't have any rotational symmetry, but it does have mirror symmetry. If it didn't have mirror symmetry, there would be 120 of them, but because it has rotational symmetry, it has one orientation. And there should be 60 of them, because 1 times 60 is 60. Okay, so let me separate. I'm still finding triangle ones. Alright, let me separate these out, the, I don't know, chevron-looking mechanism parts. Okay, all the pieces that remain over here all have this tiny little triangle mechanism. This triangle may look like it has threefold symmetry, but because the way the part's attached to it on one side, it really only actually has one-fold mirror symmetry. And so because of that, there should be 60 of these pieces too. So I'm just going to leave these over here. Okay, so let's count how many of the chevron oh, and here's the core. And the core has 60 orientations available to it, and so there should only be one, because 60 times 1 is 60. Okay, I'm going to separate out these chevron pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. 60. Perfect. Now, as you can see, there's a whole bunch of different varieties to the shapes of these pieces. I'm not going to worry about that just yet. I know that I have 60. Hopefully the breakdown is correct. Okay. Should also have 60 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 20, oh, that goes over here, 21, 22, so 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. Okay, 60 of those. Okay. So the only pieces left to count are these three-fold corner-looking pieces over here. Now the reason I left these to last is because, if I recall correctly, Eitan had too many of one of them in the model, and so I have some extras. I should only have 20, but I'm going to have, I don't know, 24 or something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Okay, I have 28. Okay, so let me figure out how many I'm supposed to actually have. I'm going to categorize these into groups based on what they look like. So all the small ones. Okay. So let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of these small triangles. And that would make sense if there were, say, 2 on each face of the cube. Then 12 would make sense. Okay, these pieces are going to be super hard to identify because they're mirrors of each other, they're chiral. So I'm not sure the best way to identify them. Just have to hold them up and figure out which one's a right and which one's a left. Okay, so those two are identical. So they're the same chirality. Okay, so we'll just call these right arbitrarily. So that one's also a right. That one's also a right. Hopefully I'm doing this right. It seems like it's also a right. Okay, this one's definitely a left. This one's a left. This one's a left. This one's a left. This one's a right. This one's a right. This is a right. This is a left. This is a right. This is a right. This is a left. This is a right. Okay. So, I had 12 of the small ones. So that leaves 8 total. That leaves 8 total left, because I need 20 of them, right? So I assume that the right and left's get divided into 4 groups. So I have 5, so I wonder if I got one of the chiralities wrong on these. Those are the same. Those are the same. Yep, here, this one's right. Okay, I have 4 of those, so I assume that those are exactly the 4 I need. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of these. My guess is that there's 8 too many, and then I actually need 4. So I'm going to take those 4, I'm going to put all the rest of these to the side over here. Okay, I believe that's all the parts I need for the puzzle. So now it's a matter of figuring out how to assemble it. And so here's the core. I got 20 screws. These are M3 screws. You can tell by the thread pitch, M3 screws, wow, I don't know if that's in focus or not. M3 screws have a much steeper thread pitch. There's a lot more threads per unit of length than 4-40 Imperial US size screws. And I think M3 are the right screws for this core. It's pretty easy to tell. You just, if they go in really easily, yeah. So there's a little bit of resistance there, but it goes in pretty easily. M3 screws have the larger diameter, so it would go in super easily if they were 4-40 screws. Okay, so these parts must be the parts that screw into the core. So I'm going to screw a handful in here. Probably should be using shorter screws for a video for the sake of my arms. I'll be fine though. Okay. Oh, too tight. Alright, that spins underneath the adjacent one really easily. Okay, and so what I have built here is the two face centers of the icosahedron. And so there's an edge between them. The edges have two-fold symmetry, and these are the pieces with the two-fold symmetry. So we know that an edge like that has to go between them. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to get a cluster of faces in here, and then I can start figuring out which shapes go where. My camera's telling me I only have 4 minutes of space left on this memory card, so I'm going to have to, soon, I'm going to have to take a break and upload the footage and then continue. what I'm going to do is I'm going to get 5 around a 5-fold vertex, and then I can start figuring out how to place stuff. To go like that. Okay, so I have 5 around a 5-fold vertex. The 5-fold vertex pieces are these, and they're all sort of oblong. There's like, you know, they all have some skew to them. I don't think that there's any that are centered. Yeah, there's none where the bulk of the piece is above the center of the mechanism of the piece. So, are they all identical? Seems like they're all identical. Okay. Well, that means that I know that any one that I put in there in any orientation is going to be correct. Or at least I can define it as correct and not have to change it. So I'm going to try to build some of the face relative to that. Okay, I don't think I think it's supposed to go on top of. It can't, yeah, okay. It must, there must be a gap. The piece that's supposed to be here has been left out of the design, which makes sense. And then this is not supposed to go on top. This is floating in some shell above. You can actually tell because of the curvature of the circle. So a shell's mechanism is concentric spheres, and the inner sphere is relatively curved, and then as you go out, the outer spheres are less curved, and you can see that that's a pretty shallow curve on this piece. It's at least a shell above. Okay, I'm about to run out of disk space, so I'm going to have to pause here and upload footage. Alright, I'm back. Where I left off was that I determined that this piece couldn't go in the center because it must be a shell above this part. And if you look at the pieces, there's clearly no way the chevrons are going to go in here. There's clearly no way that these triangle pieces can go. So it seems the only option is just these edge pieces. So let me categorize the edge pieces here. Okay. So we have these square looking edge pieces. These must be these got to be the face centers of a cube. I don't know, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a good sign. Okay. So 6 of these, they must be the face centers of the cube. It seems like they have 4x rotational symmetry, like square symmetry, even though the underlying mechanism only has 2-fold symmetry. Okay, and then these are a little bit trickier. these have a slanted surface. This must be the surface that you put stickers on. And in relation to the mechanism, it's pointing sort of at an angle. No, excuse me, it's not. It's pointing straight to one side. So I believe that means all of these are actually identical. Yeah. Let's see if there's any more variety. No, it seems like they're all identical parts. That's a good sign. Okay, so we know that these pieces have to go in between two centers screwed into the core here. It's a little bit tricky when they're all sort of loosely screwed into the core. Put it over here and then rotate it around. Okay. We know that has to be the center of a cube. If that's the center of the cube, then I think we only have one side assembled enough. I think we need to put in 3 more centers before we continue. So I'm going to do that. Put in this one right here first, the faraway one. This is one of the annoying things about M3 screws. Is you have to turn them a lot more because of the thread pitch. Oh, way too tight. Oh yikes. That hole looks like it's completely filled with powder. I'm going to go get a tool and try to clean it out. Okay. So several of these are. Should be good enough. Okay. That has to be the center of a cube, which means back here will also be the center of a cube, and this will be a center of the cube, and Over here will be the center of a cube. Okay. So now I got to figure out where the other edges go. This has to be a flat surface. Let me rotate one of these edges in and see if I get it right. Okay, that is a perfect flat surface. Okay. I think I got these two wrong. That is not a flat surface. That is. I think I need to rotate this 180. No, that completely screwed it up. Okay, these are separated by a hole. Okay, that seems right. What did I do different? I wonder if I need to use these. Okay, that's clearly wrong. I don't think rotating it's going to help. It seems ideal on a mid-turn. That doesn't make any sense. Am I really correct that these are the only types? Ooh, they're chiral. Yikes. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if you can see this. But they are chiral. There is a right-handed kind and a left-handed kind. I must have just lucked out when I used these two that are mirrors of each other. That makes sense. They should be mirrors. Okay, that is perfect. Okay, and then that means that the other one I just used must be right for... Oh, I already have 4 in here, don't I? Oh, but this one's wrong. Yeah. Okay, that makes nice flat surface. They're mirrors of each other. Those are mirrors of each other. Those are mirrors of each other. Perfect, I have a flat surface. I didn't realize they were chiral. That was the confusion. Alrighty. Well, since no other type of piece goes into the core, what I'm going to do is I'm going to assemble another face. I'm going to assemble this face up here, and I'm going to slowly work my way around and get all of the edge pieces in place. So I need to put some more centers in. This is not something I normally have to deal with because I normally use my air compressor, but it makes way too much noise and way too much mess to do it on camera. Okay, I don't see any clogged holes. Great. Okay, so then the face center must go right here. And then I'll get these, I need to get these in too. Okay, the face center must go right here. Must go like this. Okay. Let's see, let's compare it. Yeah, that looks identical. Okay. So put it in backwards. Okay, rotate. This is always a little bit hard when the screws are loose, so the pieces have so much wiggle room. Nope, and I put the wrong chirality in. Doesn't make a flat surface. Okay. So if this is the wrong one, okay, I need to put this one in. Does that make, yeah, that forms a flat surface. Good. I should have checked before. That's just jamming. Hopefully this is the right one. I didn't keep track of it. Yeah, that forms a nice flat surface. There we go. Just had to get the screws adjusted right. Alrighty. So you can see the cube taking shape. This is one face and this is the other face, and those meet at 90-degree angles. Okay, I need the opposite chirality. No, that's the same. That looks right. Yeah. This is a common problem to have, to be unable to easily rotate centers when they're all sort of loose and they don't have the pieces holding them in exact alignment. I don't know if it's too loose or too tight, or neither. Okay, well, I need to get this piece rotated in place. Does that form a flat surface? Yes, it does. Okay. Crap, I messed up this one over here. There we go. Those seem to form a flat surface. Need to get two more in. Nice. And perfect. Okay, I have two faces formed with edges. Part of the problem is I didn't need this center screwed in at all. It made it rotating them quite a bit more challenging. Okay, might as well work on this one next. So I need to get this center in, and then the edge should go right there. I suppose I could make the center so loose that I could just snap everything in without worrying and then tighten them all later. I don't really know what the best approach is. My camera says I have a minute left, so I'm going to stop this video and then start another one. It turns out that it's not my memory card filling up, it's just the FAT32, the 4 GB limit in FAT32, so the file gets to 4 GB and then I have to stop and start again. Alright, got that center in. I need to get this piece in. That's going to be a little bit challenging. So what I'm going to do, rotate that center around like that, find the piece that will nope, that one's not going to go flush. I have the wrong chirality. Okay, so I need the chirality opposite of this one. Which is this one. Okay, and then I gotta rotate. Perfect. Okay, and so if that one was opposite, then I need the one that's opposite, which is this one. Perfect. Okay, I need to put in, okay, I can put in that one right now, and then I have to screw in another center. So I need the same chirality as this piece, because the diagonals are the same chirality. So, perfect, those are the same. Oh, got that completely wrong. Nope, I messed that up. I need something that's the opposite chirality of this. Those are the same. Perfect. No, it doesn't look right. No, it is. I think. Yep, it is. I just had to get it rotated in properly. Okay, and then I need to screw in that center so that I can get this one in. Something that's opposite chirality of this. Those are the same. That looks opposite. No. Do I need the same chirality? I think it's opposites on the wide angle and same on the short, or opposite on the wide side and same on the short side. That's why I got the diagonal wrong. It's the sides that are opposite, not the diagonals. Kind of an idiot. There we go. Perfect. Okay, I gotta remember that. Same chirality on the short and opposite chirality on the long. Okay. This is coming along relatively nicely. So if this is a cube face and this is a cube face, there's another cube face right here. It must be between those two centers. Okay. Well, then I guess I'm going to put in 2 centers. Okay, yeah, between those 2 centers. Okay, so let's just getting a single one to rotate is so hard because they all have to be lined nicely. Okay. Here's the short one, those are the same chirality. Here's the long run, those are the opposite. Okay. But that doesn't form a plane, must be the opposite of this. That's an opposite. Those do form a plane. Nice. Okay. Now I needed to do the same thing for this one. You have to be able to get one in there. That's going to be a little bit tricky. Perfect. Okay. don't form a plane. Get the wrong one. Yeah, let's do form a plane. Nice. Perfect. Need the same chirality as that because it's a short. That is the same. Perfect. Okay, and I need to put in that center to get this one in. Okay, it needs to be opposite this, because that's a long angle. And that is opposite. Sweet. Plane. Plane, plane, plane. Okay, this one's almost already got all the centers in. I just need to get that center in so that I can put that in. Before I do that, actually, I'm going to get these in place. That's going to just make it a lot easier for me. So the center would go like right there. Does that form a plane? Seems like it. This is the short distance, so I need something identical to this one. That looks identical. Okay. Neither one of those is right. Oh, I take it back. This is the short distance, and this is the long distance, isn't it? No? So the short distance is the one that's parallel to this side. This is the short distance. I don't know why that didn't work. we go, that looks good. Alrighty. I want to try to put well, that would be correct, and I'd have to get the center in somehow. I don't know how easy that's going to be. I should have gotten the center more tight first. That is not working well. I don't know why. It's just jammed with, it's not sitting nicely. Oh, it's sitting on top. I think the problem is these centers are slightly off rotation, like this one. Yeah, that doesn't turn at all. That's annoying. I wonder if the core is smaller than it needs to be, and that all of these centers should be a little bit looser. Because if this core is smaller and I screw these things almost all the way down to the core, that actually constricts all of the pieces and they would jam together. So I'm going to loosen. That one's already pretty loose. That would explain why I've been having so much trouble with pieces jamming and difficulty turning centers. Well, I'm just going to keep on going. Once I get all the pieces in, it should settle down. I can tension it after that. Okay, I have 2 more centers to go. So this one fits in between like that, which means